Like and subscribe.
I got so many messages to talk about this. On one side, I
Okay.
appreciate it. On the other side, oh boy, are people still actually
Holding out
interested in
hope.
the MMO. But the thing is, we are
Come
still waiting
on,
for the
baby.
next dev updates to drop, which means, sure, we have time to dive into this. So today's topic is simple. We're talking about the MMO again. I know, it's been a while, but it is funny to see that
Surely
all of a
this
sudden, for no reason at all,
This time
there are
it'll
just pieces of
happen.
information about the MMO circling the internet. And best of all, some of them come from really weird sources. Which means, first we should start by asking, is the MMO dead? Well, simply said, not at all. In fact, that is gonna be the main thing to take away from today's video. The MMO still lives on, and it seems to be pretty active, at least within the
That's better
realms of the
news.
development. So take all of this as a big check.
Last time, I thought like it was like a toss up whether they're just gonna like dump it.
Whether this project is still alive. Interestingly enough though, this is something that anyone could have noticed without any experience of looking into anything that's behind Riot. And that is simply because in the realm of MMOs, something interesting happened very recently. Classic World of Warcraft released new servers, which also included new servers for the hardcore version, where a bunch of content creators created a guild called OnlyFangs. I am in that guild.
Was in, yeah.
Or I gloriously sacrificed myself. Anyway, the point is, this event actually resurrected a lot of hype around classic WoW. So a lot of streamers, including people who have never seen WoW before, started playing WoW hardcore. And that also includes the Riot MMO devs, with Tryndamere himself also being in OnlyFangs. So it's
Wait, that was actually him? I thought it was like another guy just pretending to be Tryndamere, but it was actually Tryndamere. That's crazy.
cool to see that the devs working on the MMO are actively taking part of the events that are happening around MMOs. So at the very least, you can't say that the MMO developers don't play MMOs. They are hitting level 60s on hardcore left and right. But connected to this, Mark Yetter, who is one of the people who hit 60 in hardcore, who is also the game director of Riot's MMO, posted new job listings related to the MMO. The MMO team has a few openings for software engineers you might have missed. We are super passionate and would really benefit from your help to make this ambitious game happen. After which he links to the two jobs. Now, because both of these are software engineers, the common folk will not be too excited about this, because this is just heavy technical stuff. But that doesn't mean we can't pick these apart. So first there is the more general staff software engineer. As a staff software engineer on our unpublished MMO, you'll build and deliver internet-scale backend services to power a genre-defining game for millions of players worldwide. From integrating Riot's existing platform.
They're already thinking this is a W, which it is. It's a Riot product. It's going to be free to play, obviously. They're going to have millions of players. I just can't wait for 2XK, I'm not going to lie. I need a fighting game in my life.
Platforms to creating new ones. You'll design scalable
later.
systems, develop features end-to-end,
So
and ensure compliance with infrastructure and operational standards. To me, it seems like they are looking for an engineer that can make the base player progression across the game. It's really hard to describe everything this job actually can do. So thankfully they also list the responsibilities. Design and implement scalable, reliable backend services for high-performance gameplay. Again, this can be literally anything from just inventory management, to server tracking down the player locations, to just tweaking the ticks between the player commands and the servers. Again, there is a lot of technical stuff, so the specifics are not that important. But they can also develop server infrastructure that supports innovative gameplay and game features. Honestly, this can be also something like player housing, if they really want to do that. Collaborate with cross-disciplinary teams, including art, design, and engineering to create cohesive player experiences. Simply said, let's make things satisfying and pretty. Plan, design, and execute technical initiatives, contributing to system architecture and development, contribute to team's technical direction, establishing best practices and standards, mentor teammates, fostering skill development and engineering excellence, continuously improve systems to meet the demands of...
I'm not gonna lie, I kinda hope they go very much like WoW, where it runs on like a potato, like very stylized, I hope their servers are good because the amount of disconnects, I still can't believe they disconnect so much, and then they have a hardcore mode where it's just permadeath, and they never res you for anything, a bug, a disconnect, anything like that, and the game disconnects a lot. A lot. It's just wild that this billion-dollar company just couldn't fix that.
Live global audience. So again, most of this
I think they hit
is technical
$1 billion.
mambo jambo. To put it in layman's terms, imagine the nerdiest kid in the class. That's who they are looking for. But then they also list some desired requirements. And this is where we can point out one cool thing. Familiarity with Unreal Engine 4
Yeah,
or
I saw the
5,
Unreal
including
Engine
blueprints, visual
tools.
scripting. I love how they mention 4 or 5 so that it is not exactly obvious what engine they are working in. It has to be 5. There is no way they are using 4. But also, to
I don't know, man. Well, no, that wouldn't make sense. I was trying to think of it like because sometimes they use two engines for like games, but they're typically like two separate engines for separate things. Like one would be for art style, and the other would be for like gameplay wise, you know. So having two Unreal engines, yeah, that'll be kind of cringe. That would make no sense, but yeah, it makes sense. It's 5 because yeah, they'll be asking for obvious like experience with that. With 4 or 5 because they're kind of similar to each other.
many of you, it may be a surprise that, yeah, we've known that the MMO is
I think 4 and 5 are very like close compared to like 3 and 4.
gonna be in Unreal for a while. Now the thing is, at the beginning, Unreal has never really had the best reputation for making MMOs, but over the years they really refined their craft. And so these days, there are actually many different MMOs who are all being developed in Unreal Engine. And it absolutely makes sense for Riot to do this too. And that's because Riot actually has a long-term relationship with Epic Games. I mean, Riot already held many different talks during Unreal Fest, including a really cool one where they talked about Valorant and how it potentially might be turned into new games. So I wouldn't be surprised if, going into the future, all of Riot's games were made with Unreal Engine. And this is awesome, because they are going into a field which I understand. And I understand this because I am also making a game in Unreal Engine. I swear to God, one day I will properly announce this. I tweeted about it once, and
Okay,
thank you
a
all for the
platformer.
overwhelmingly positive comments. I did not expect that. But the point is, we are going into places which I understand. So then they also go into the staff tools engineer. As a staff software engineer on the unpublished MMO, you will work with all team disciplines to design, implement, and iterate on modern game development workflows, pipelines, and AI. Now, put down the pitchforks. I am pretty sure
Yeah,
they are
it's
not talking about any kind
yeah.
of generative AI.
People need to, dude. I hate that people had to clarify this. Bro, we've had AI for like forever. Relax, man. The amount of like virtue signaling losers on Twitter about like, oh, generative AI this, generative AI that. Shut up, man. Just because it says AI does not mean it's generative AI. Um, it's just, it's so cringe. It's so cringe because people think they know so much about a certain subject that they've just learned about recently, and it baffles me. There was that one I keep seeing like people like artists tear each other apart for assuming that the other artist is like using AI art, and instead of like finding evidence for it, they just call it out and say like, oh, it's AI art because of this, this, and this, but it pointing out like like useless stuff, getting people bullied off like Twitter, and then later apologizing, which they don't mean it. They don't mean it at all, but it's so cringe, man. And plus,
On one
might be controversial take, but generative AI is not bad. I'm saying it's not bad. It really
side, they
isn't.
could be talking about the general AI,
You can do like, it's obviously like inherently it's not bad. You can train it on yourself if you feed it your own artwork. You can train it on artwork of other people, but with permission, obviously. It is not like inherently a terrible thing. It isn't.
like NPCs behaving, but because they are talking about workflows, they are talking about the kind of AI that actually helps them build features. They are not using AI to make models, they are not using AI to make art, at least as far as we know. And it's most likely just, hey, we manually made this code for 20 different assets. Can the AI just take what we did and use the code to make 20 more assets? That kind of thing, I hope. They could also be just using AI as a buzzword to just luring more people into the job, because that's what companies do. Anyway, here's what they are doing.
I mean, it could be like, let's read it. Software engineers on Polish MMO. You will work with the team disciplines to design, implement, and iterate on modern game developments, workflows, pipelines, and AI. That that could also mean just like the AI itself, like the NPCs. It could just mean that, like, it doesn't have to mean like an AI writing stuff. It really doesn't, because I don't think they would explicit. I don't know explicit. Jesus, that word explicit. Dude, I'm gonna skip that word. But you know what? You know which word I'm saying. Um, exclusively. It's a bit off, but I'll use it. I don't think they'll exclusively use AI, the term AI, for like specifically uh just using it in like a workplace thing of like during development, like coding. That makes no sense. I I think if they would want to bring up AI, they would use it as in like maybe the NPCs themselves being and how they're made, if you know what I mean. Because there's like, what's it that Stalker has? I forgot what it is. Stalker has like this cool ass system, and it's from Stalker One. Stalker, it's like Adam Project or something like that. AI. Oh, A Life. A Life. That whole A Life system that Stalker has is amazing. Also, from what I remember from Stalker 1, I know there's some issues with Stalker 2. That A Life was not really implemented well. But yeah, I would assume it's stuff like that. It'll be yeah, basically just AI like that, not like I'm using AI for like part of my work that I'm doing. That just makes no sense, right?
You will work in a small team alongside a product lead, technical artist, designers, and other engineers to ensure we can effectively deliver on our players' dreams. The ideal candidate is passionate, driven, and wants to guide the technical vision of how we extend engines and optimize workflows. You will report to the technical product manager of the project. And of course, they also have the specifics. Identify, prioritize, and implement custom Unreal tooling, workflows, and data repositories. Again, I assume that is where they are using the AI. Collaborate with team members to gather requirements, plan technical initiatives, and deliver consistently. Lead and contribute to architectural requirements, technical design, and implementation for relevant systems. Help shape technical directions and standards for the team. As development advances into full production, iterate on robust, scalable, and performant solutions. Mentor other engineers on the team in your area of expertise. See, they mention as the team advances into full production, so they are not there yet. They'll
Definitely
get
not.
there one day, and again, for the required qualification.
I mean, hopefully. That's what we're all hoping for, please. For the love of God. Riot, please make sell more skins, man. Make more skins. Make an even expensive tier after the one that you just released for like $1,000. And yeah, fund it, man. Fund this MMO, please, for the love of God.
Fluency in C or C++, professional experience creating tools for Unreal 4 or 5. Again, C++ is the base language for Unreal Engine. And for the most part, this is where the official information ends. Riot is still looking for more people to work on the MMO, which means the MMO is alive, they are doing stuff. But when it comes to the unofficial news, things get weird. Because we got, and I quote, a Wild Rift community member from Uzbekistan. That is literally in their bio on their Twitter. Who gave us some unofficial but totally officially confirmed news. LoL PC will get a new map and launcher in 2026. LoL Wild Rift will get a new map update in 2026. New game, open world MMO, development launch October 2025. See, what exactly is...
What? New map and launcher, please. Please. Fix your launcher. I don't play it anymore, but fix your launcher. I just play TFT if I'm opening up League. Wild Rift don't give two craps about. Got a phone, but not like that. 2025 October, my birth month. Development launch. Oh, so they'll be out of their idea phase and starting development then. Oh
is
man.
a development launch.
And then in 25 years, 2050, that's when it will launch. It will finally come out on as beta. A beta. Oh god.
This case, are they talking about the full production? If that's so, then realistically, we might get some kind of an announcement this year. That would be big. Because usually, with the launch of full production, at the very least, you have an announcement trailer. Of course, this entire thing reads like a 4chan post. We get 8 million of these every minute. But should they be true, for some reason, then hey, we might get something this year. Which would be funny because it would be the first time we got something official. But of course, as these pieces of information start circling the internet, eventually they end up on Reddit. And since League of Legends has recently been on a not so great streak of dealing with a progression and a monetization, there is a Reddit post that got quite high. Riot MMO project will fail if their prestige decreases more. They are on a path where their greed is hurting their own player base like League of Legends. Financially, they may be good with the recent changes, but they will lose a lot in the long term with their decisions. Why? Because Riot is a company that drives their players away from their biggest product, making loads of players disinterested in them, in the game, and because of that, their universe too. This is the worst investment for them considering the MMO is being built on League universe. Try seeing Runeterra as a word. And Riot is its god. Do you think a god with bad prestige and greed could hold its world together to not fail? Do you think their greed won't affect the biggest work-in-progress projects? I'm gonna be honest, the allegory with God and worlds, I'm not exactly sold on that one. But I
I don't know. I say screw it, man. Milk those whales. Milk those whales. Pump out your TV shows. Pump out your MMO. I think when the MMO drops, that's when Riot can actually breathe as a company, because then it'll be two huge games, huge main games. I guess TFT is very big. I don't know how big it is compared to the league itself. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, like they could. Jesus, the mic again. It's 3 times that had that happen. The mic. But yeah, when the MMO drops, I mean, 2XKO is gonna be big, but it's a fighting game. It's pretty niche. Um, so is Valorant-ish. It is popular, but I don't think it's too popular. But the MMO dropping is gonna be huge. I think League of Legends and the MMO will be like its two pillars, and then Riot can like kind of like sigh in relief because they don't have all the eggs in practically one basket currently, which is League,
understand
and they can just tell these players to like kind of fuck off.
what they are talking about. They just got it inverted. To everyone, it is absolutely obvious that Riot's reputation with the recent monetization has not been great. We are getting really expensive skins after even more expensive skins, after entire gacha systems being in League of Legends now, all while the base free-to-play progression is slightly worse. Not to mention, in some cases, we are missing really cool items. So in that regard, yes, they are right. But when it comes to the long-term investment, I think the exact opposite is true. I am
Yep.
pretty sure Riot is doing all of these because they realize that League can make a lot more money, and they are taking that and they are investing it into the long term.
Yep.
Because they are taking all.
Bro sounds like a shill. Hey, so do I, man. I think it's fine. I think skins in a game don't mean anything. If they did, the world's best player, Faker, would be playing with skins, which he rarely does. In certain show matches, he does play with a skin, but he mostly doesn't. I think it's fine. Even like now, like losing the ability, like having chess and having that regular like skin shard to like re-roll into permanence. Yeah, that's kind of a pain not to have, but I don't care. I don't think I care. I don't play the game anymore, so to be honest, I just play TFT, and I'm waiting for 2XKO and the MMO to come out, I guess, and the TV shows as well for Noxus, Ionia, and Demacia.
All of that money from the gacha games, and they are shoving it into future projects such as Arcane or the MMO. This is not really a short-term gain. This is a short-term gain for the long-term investment. The catch is, it's really bad for reputation. And they are absolutely right. If, for example, the MMO gets some kind of a gacha system, you bet there is gonna be a lot of people disappointed. Which is why we should be hopeful about the fact that the MMO teams are actually playing classic MMOs such as classic WoW. At least those are holding everyone to the ground. But also, in this post they mentioned how people are getting less and less interested in the universe. But that is just false.
Yeah,
and this got confirmed.
I was gonna say, man, that's completely false. It's only true if you only play League of Legends. That's only true if that's all you play. You just 24/7 League of Legends. You will fall out of love from the game and the universe, obviously. But there are people out there who are super fans of the lore and the universe, and they haven't touched a single Riot product. They only just consume the Arcane TV show. And then obviously others that are like casual League players, it's it's not gonna bother them much. They watch the shows as well. The show they play TFT, they play RM. Dude, the majority still love League Law, probably love it even more now there's a TV show. Yeah, it's just false.
Confirmed through two different means. First of all, it was recently confirmed that Mel is extremely popular and that there is a new wave of new and returning players. This was directly confirmed by Riot. But also, and this is the more important part, people got interested in this universe because of Arcane, with Arcane
Yep.
being one of these long-term investments. So again, I don't think people are getting less and less interested in this universe. In
Heck no.
fact, the hype is going through the roof with stuff like Arcane. However, it
Yeah.
mostly goes
2XK, 2XKO is gonna come out. The mainstream watchers of Arcane, they're gonna see that. Hey, that's Echo. Wait, that's Jinx. And then they're gonna play that, and then after there's gonna be the MMO. Or, well, it's gonna be the shows first, right? The shows are gonna come out before the MMO ever will. So it's gonna be the shows again, and then more hype, and then the MMO even more hype.
beyond the League of Legends audience, like Riot really tapped into the global market now, but also this all comes at the cost of the League of Legends game. So theoretically, if in the future they swap League of Legends and they kind of let it burn when it comes to monetization, and they invest it all into the MMO, which can have a whole new audience, well, that is certainly a move they can make, which means there you have it, Riot. If
I think
you
the
want to save your
MMO will be
reputation,
bigger
and
than
if you want to
any
let people
of the
know that the
games.
Riot MMO is in good hands, you have to give us back Hextech chests.
Bro's negotiating. Bro thinks he's on the table. You're not at the table, man. Right, it's just there like, who is this guy? we let you come in to our house every now and then. Yeah, we're cordial and everything, but you're not negotiating things. But yeah, man, MMO could potentially be the biggest Riot game they ever have. Most profitable as well, and most monetized. I believe so. I think, hey man, it's a worthy sacrifice. If you had to kill MOBA, if you had to kill League of Legends for that, I'll be happy with that sacrifice, son. I'll be happy to make that sacrifice, please. Turn League of Legends into like an in-game version, kind of like Gwent in Witcher 3. I'll be happy with that.